Hey, like I haven't talked to y'all in forever. Oh wait, I talked to you like 5 minutes ago. Hey everybody, welcome back to another round of Canje Plays. This is an impromptu unboxing. Supposed to be before. And that impromptu unboxing comes from Darkest Dungeon board game. This was my third, what unfortunately became my final most anticipated game. A lot of craziness about it. This is the first game I've ever played, and so it is going to be interesting to see how it shakes out, how the unboxing goes. I'm sure you've watched other people do it, but this is my unboxing, so you're not going to take away my job. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to my Patreons, thank you to my YouTube subscribers, and anybody else just coming in to hop in to watch this unboxing. Thank you and welcome as well. So we're going to get into this. Have some fun. We're going to go down to the table, talk a little bit about the frustrations that came with people and why the score on BG is so low, which completely ignore that you play the game because it's raging. Which they have all the right to rage, and we'll talk about all that other stuff. It's here. So there were 4 I was waiting for, 3 delivered this year, and the other one's delivered next year. It was Oathsworn, Frostpunk, which I'm learning now I'm going to be playing this week, Darkest Dungeon, and then the 4th was going to be Ice of Guard, but that got deferred to next year. Early next year, so that will be. But these were my anticipated to be delivered, and the final whip came in today. Thank goodness, and so we'll get into it and do it. So let's get some talk about what's going on and why the score is the way it is. Okay, so Darkest Dungeon. If you look on here, it's got a 5.9 on Board Game Geek, even though it's now. The reason why is because, and I'll be straight up about it. Mythic kind of bungled and didn't do a pretty decent job about talking with people. Still waiting on your copy to come in, Steven? Yeah, it's coming. It's coming for sure. I know if you're in the US Fun again, I believe it's doing. But they didn't do a good job of communication when it came to dealing with all the things that happened around the game. You can't blame them because of crisis, the shipping crisis and the rising costs of fuel and containers and ships went up. That they searched around, they found the best they can. How they approached people is that they came to you and they're like, if you want your game, you need to pay more. Instead of, hey, we recognize this stuff is really tough. We're in a hard spot, so let's go ahead and, we'd like to ask for you to pay more. Knowing, because if you, I haven't been in the board gaming community long, or I say as long as a lot of other people, but even in my short time, I recognize how kind and giving this community is. And if you talk about the dichotomy and the dialectic around those two things, you see Oathsworn saying the same thing, but they were like, hey, we didn't want to do this. We have to. We're struggling. Can you at all try to find some way to help us out? And the community rallied. It said, sure, we have faith in your game. We trust what's going on. How can we help? And so people actually gave more. I gave more to Oathsworn than what they asked for so that they can deliver and get stuff back. Cool. Mythic said, if you want your game, pay this amount of money, or we don't know when you'll get your game. You'll get your game, but pay money. We don't care. Pay money. And so a lot of people rightfully got pissed at that. And so then it turned into this thing of PR, the PR or the releases that came that chatted didn't talk to the community like they were adults. Talk to them like, well, this is how it is. Deal with it, right? And that's not fair. That's not your people are investing money in you to do this stuff, and so you're being a jerk. And it may not. I want to believe. I want to believe because I've usually watched the Wednesdays roundups. Sam did it, and when Leo did it, and stuff. And I want to believe that it isn't intentional. But you also should listen to people when they're saying you're coming across as a jerk. And I don't blame any of the staff. I talked to a few of them in Gen Con, and they're like, yeah, it's hard. We know we're doing the best we can. And I get that. Yeah, Fred, this is number 2. This is weird. So, but I get that. But you need to talk to your press release people about before you kick stuff out. Read it and read it like you've you've given somebody money, and how would you take it if they said that to you? So that's all I'm asking. And then the thing that really chewed me, and many people, my Patreons included, and many people who talk to me knows that it chews at me, is you say you don't have enough money to ship. Cool. You say that we have to pay extra or we won't get our game. Okay, here's some money. And then you see games pop up that are like, oh, they sent me this for free. I don't know anything about this, but because I've got high numbers in so and so, then here, let me do an unboxing, which will drive you to go buy it if you find it interesting at all. That peeved me only because it's like, if you struggle for money, if you struggle for people to do the stuff, don't do that. Don't give a game away for free to somebody who knows nothing about it and probably will never play it just because you want to get eyes on it. Why don't you deliver it to people, let them spread the word about how good your game is, and drive the sales that way? Because then it turns into a money grab. And I recognize everything runs on business. Anyway, I'm going to get into, blah, and y'all came here for an unboxing. I have feelings about how the entirety of this game was, of this first Wave 1 shipping was. And I think it could have been done better. But, you know, all you have to do is just take a second and reread what you said and read it to somebody. Say, hey, give me a bunch of money, and then I'm going to talk to you like and see the response you get, and that should help you drive to change your in. Just a little bit of awareness might be helpful, and it seemed like there was a lack thereof from all the, not from the people, because the people think Chaz is amazing. He handles it like a pro. I think it's the press that comes out, it lacks any form of awareness. So therefore, your game's going to get ranked 5.9 from people who haven't even played it yet, because you're being kind of. So 1 to 4 players. Community says 1 to 2, 4 are best play 2 to 4 player. You have to play with 4 characters. Just how it is. 90 to 120 minutes, age 14 plus, and the weight's about a 0.88 out of 5. Nick and Angiris designed this game, and Chris did the art, and it's published by Mythic. So we're going to get into the unboxing. We're going to see how this stuff goes. Well, the ball has been streaming soft and torn. So I want to watch some of the World Cup too, but this is something I promised people, so we're gonna get it. All right, down on the table. Let's do this. Y'all heard me rant. I just a little bit of awareness goes a long. I even struggle with it sometimes, lack thereof, but I have to remember. All right, let's unbox some stuff. So this is the big thing. It's going to cover my head, as you can see, and it says Darkest Dungeon right here. So we're going to pop this open and see what's inside as soon as it arrived. I told y'all I take it straight from the door, straight to the stream. One thing, many things you can call me, one of them is not a liar. Pop this open. Good gracious. Yeah, you're not going to see my head until I pull everything. Okay. So it's a jigsaw puzzle. Wait. We'll get all this stuff out. Something here that we're going to unbox. And my okay. Get this thing out of the way. Okay, cool. Okay. So let's see. This is the board game. This is the strong box. This is this is the Musketeer and the Crimson Court, which delivers in Wave 1. So let's go ahead and take care of the board game piece. You're going to see my fan until I take the plastic off. So, by Nick and Argyris, Darkest Dungeon is a tabletop adaptation of the acclaimed video game, which, if you watch me play, you know I love it so much. Play your favorite hero in 3D and cooperative dungeon crawl for 1 to 4 players. Accept missions, dispatch imminent threats, and help restore the hamlet and the heir's mansion to its former glory. But beware, either at death's door or at your wit's end, you will have to uproot evil itself from the darkest dungeon. So, cool. Let's pop this bad boy open. Just like that, the fan disappears. This box is not light. I wouldn't recommend, I can hold it up one-handed, wouldn't recommend it, but it is not light. So we got, dear backer, the entire Mythic team would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting this project, Darkest Dungeon. The board game is certainly our biggest project to date, but without you, it wouldn't have been possible. Ooh, this would have been great if they put it in their letter instead of telling F off. The game designer Nick Neos and Argyris, being diehard fans of the video game franchise, sought to sync everything from their love of the digital version into this analog version, and we think it really showed. While being considered a dungeon crawler, we think the purposeful design choices made to stay as true to the source material as possible puts it in a category all its own. The entire graphic design team, from Chris of Red Hook to Stefan and Christoph of Mythic Games and all the sculptors in between, also worked very hard to breathe 3D life into the 2D realm of Hamlet. But all that work would have been naught without your support, and for that we are eternally grateful. We are so proud and ecstatic to be able to. Okay, just joining, but did you get a shipping notice or did it just show up? I got the address confirmation. Hey, Mystic Eye Games. I actually didn't get a shipping notice, but UPS tracked it for me from Funnigan. Funnigan didn't send me a notice, but UPS caught it, and it was letting me know that something from Funnigan was delivering, and I knew it had to be this because Funnigan was doing fulfillment. So I didn't get a shipping notice. I just used the UPS app. Forgot where I was. Anyway, thank you for Mythic Team. Important note, sometimes your pledge isn't perfect. While we prepared your pledge to the highest standards, we realized that as with every process, errors can be made, items can be left out, and damages can occur in transit. If your pledge contains any bent or broken miniatures, damaged boxes, or after double checking you are sure that you are missing items and components, please reach out to our support. If your shipping address was within Europe, then please reach out to our European distribution hub at the following web address and support. I had a notification in the UPS app saying the label was created, would be delivered on 20 days later. It said the order was canceled. Oh no! What? Yeah, no, mine was just in the UPS app, and I was just like, oh, it's going to be delivered, and it had a tracking number. I'm not sure why. Wow, something's really going on with their fulfillment. Hell, the Last Saga and Rainbow Six, more promo stuff so we'll get to this. We'll get to that. We dig down and then work our way back up. So we've got that's here, so I'll just put that with that. My God. Alright, so we've got I say my God because anyway, I have thoughts on things. Alright, so we got large boxes that we're going to pop open and see what's inside. We've got another box that has no label. Not hard to do. Got dice that we'll take a look at. Fan that you're seeing in the background. And other cards that have no label. Nope. No label. Neat. Love it. Alright. And this stack of mess. And a bunch of bags that have Darkest Dungeon on. Because, you know, in the aftermarket, someone will create something for this. For whatever this is. We always got to look at the bottom just to make sure nothing's in there. Kind of my MO. After I threw out a game for not looking at the bottom of the box, and someone was like, there was something underneath the thing, so now I started checking. Okay, let's get to what we need to. Yeah, I saw other people in Facebook groups saying the same, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is the thing I'm talking about. There are picture boxes showing what cards are inside. There are pictures in the boxes showing the cards that are inside the boxes instead of on the box. Thoughts. They correspond to the card pictures in the rulebook. Ah, okay. Put it back and start over. Dude. Oh, there's pictures on there. Okay, I'll look after I take the plastic off. Maybe it's my old man site that's causing issues. Okay. What do we got? Yeah. Actually, here. I could hold it here without overstretching. Okay, so we've got bosses. So I'm a huge fan of Darkest Dungeon, very huge fan. So this is pretty interesting. We've got oh, they got the reflections in here. Okay, so this is boss 3, perfect reflections. So there's the imperfect reflections and the perfect reflection of whenever you fight. These are tough bosses to fight. Tough bosses to fight. Those are here. Additional components. So 4 boss cards, which are the reflections. 10 experience points, 10 buffs as additional content. These are the boards. I got old eyes too. I know, right? So these are the boards. These are basically the combat boards where it's talking. So I will explain. I got to play this game at Gen Con. I got to demo it at Gen Con. And I found one problem, two, but I found one major problem that I am actually going to home when I play this game. A lot of people on the in the forum said, you don't need to do that. The game's made perfect. You don't have to worry about it. But for me, and I'm only talking for myself, I think it needs to happen. For me. Okay, so and I'll tell you what that is when we get to that box. But this has a major thing. So, but here is the battle boards. This is the columns that the enemy sits in, which is these are the different positions that they occupy when they get to those slots. So whenever you are fighting an enemy, if they are in a specific slot, that means they get to do a certain ability, that type of thing. And if you move them forward or back, it all depends on what. This is the Hamlet. So this is what it looks like when it's not jacked up. And then when you flip it over, this is what it looks like when you get there. So when you get to the Hamlet, this is what it looks like, and you can upgrade all these different sections of the Hamlet to make it better. If you notice, the sanitarium's broken down, the abbey's kind of busted up, everything's really in ruin. So you have to make that better. The stagecoach is where you get people, new fodder for the Darkest Dungeon that you're going to play with. The survivalist is where you build up skills. So it's very thematic. It's very, very, very thematic. Looks like we've got the same thing they talked about where it was the buff. These are buff and XP tokens. Sorry, it should be like this. So they're just buff and XP tokens. This is funny. Okay, this is funny. This is funny. He's reading the rule book and he just snorts. So that's funny. That's very funny. I appreciate it. So this looks like it is the hero sheets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for your heroes. So if you want to keep track of them, the campaign that you're running on there, and they come with extra sheets. So I'll probably laminate one of these 10 billion times. This is the boss sheet. Oh. I don't want to do this because I want to slide these back on, but I might have to. So we've got bosses. Got the Bone Captain. Hard guy to fight. That's just a regular guy fight. So you see that double that's like this? That means he goes on 2 on the board. So for instance, if you're fighting him, he takes up these spaces. And if you look here, if he's in this position, he gets to do stuff. So it all depends on where he lands, but he's a big boss. This is another big guy, which is the Brigand Bloodletter. He's not a boss. But the artwork is beautiful. The artwork is just gorgeous on the card. Like, look here, you see this? The artwork is gorgeous. And there's a lot of stuff going on here that you're like, I don't know what all that stuff means. It's pretty straightforward how these work, to be honest. I think it's fantastic. But that's how much health he has. So I think this is cool. They've done this very, very well. Got like, big old ghoul. Big old adder. You know this boss, the Prophet. He's got his eyeballs in his hand, if you've never noticed that before when you played the game. 3 stages. There is my favorite villain. This is my favorite villain in all of Darkest Dungeon. So he's there in 1, 2 phases. There is Pyre, which you will cook on 1, 2, and 3 phases. This gets into more. I'm not going to say where this is because people who are going to play the game, I don't want it to get too spoilery for you. For people who are playing the IP, but this is I hate this creature. I hate it so much. The Templar Warlord, the Impaler, the Mammoth Cyst, the Shuffling Horror, and that's something I don't want. Those are end of game. So if you haven't beaten the game, I don't want to spoil that for you. All right. The heroes. Come on, give it. So these are the heroes. So in the game, you start off with a Crusader and Highwayman. This is where you start going to your hamlet with. Once you get there, you get to hire some more people. Now, the Crusader can level up from level 1, level 2, level 3. So he gets stronger as he goes, and if you'll notice, he starts with 17 health, but his health goes up to 32, and he gains a little bit of immunities and powers that he goes through, and resistances as he levels up, right? So you have the Crusader that's on here, and he has a Hamlet skill, which says Zealous Speech. So only as the first action of a day, preparation days -1, day immediately ends. But as I said, once I play, I'll go into what those. You can find the Hellion, the Bounty Hunter, which I love the Bounty Hunter. Kate made me really like the Bounty Hunter because she was like, you can mark somebody and then you could let the Jester and the Grave Robber just kind of tear into them. The Highwayman I really love for Repose. So Repose is an amazing ability to get with them. The Vestal is your healer, right? So she is pretty awesome at healing. There is the Jester who has this one called Final Performance that when he plays it deals massive amounts of damage depending on where he has to be at the front to do it. Shift, we've got the Plague Doctor. She is a off heal and also a debuffer, so she can heal the party not as well as the Vestal, but she can heal the party, but she can also cast poison and things like that on different people. You have the Arbalest, one of my favorite characters. She is sit in the back and start killing everybody. She's your archer. That's your range shot. You got your Grave Robber, who is a semi-archer, but also a poison. She can melee attack with her pickaxe, as you can see here, but she also has throwing darts that she can poison people with, or she can heal herself, or she can, but that's really, she's also a range. This guy, I hate him, okay, the Occultist. This guy is your caster. He is your glass cannon. He can be amazingly powerful or annoyingly bad, and it's a crapshoot. He can heal your people. He can heal them for 1, or he can heal them the full. You don't know. It's just a chance that you roll. But he can be crazy powerful if you use him properly and equip him with the proper trinket. He can get really, really, like one shot strong. So you got to work on that. I'm only talking from the game perspective. The abomination is your off tank. Depends on how you use him. If you use him in his human form, he just kind of stuns people. He just kind of dazes them, or he can heal himself. But when change, yeah, there he is. When you change into his tank form, he causes stress to everyone around him, including your party, and then he lays in the people at an amazing pace and kills so much. So he can be amazing if you power him up. A lot of people do love the occultist Rhine. I have a love-hate relationship with him because when I power, it takes a lot to get him to where he's good, and in the meantime, you're kind of this. You don't know. He can be good. He can make it. He can make it, and then he doesn't. Okay. These are the ability boards for each of your characters. You can see here. So you unlock abilities. Also, if you have this is the names elude me when I don't play. This is a stress board, so if you had high stress, you know what happens. You have a bad quirk instead of a good quirk. This is where the quirks go, which is bad and good. And this is where you have like any type of curses or plagues or anything that works against you. It goes in that lane. But this is where you put, so you have 3 abilities, one level 2, and you unlock the Warlock path. I need to play. I've only played some of Darkest Dungeon 2. I played it once on the just to preview it, but I haven't played any of the new content, so I'd love to see that path. But all the boards are the same. There's nothing really different about these. It's just each player gets the big board. I said, I love this game, so I know a metric ton about it. Metric. That's right, it can be measured. So, this is your Crusader. So you've got, I don't know how they do the upgrades on these. Huh. I'm gonna have to read about how these cards operate because it was already pre-set up, so I'm kind of curious what the difference between these are. But we'll see. We'll see when I read. But basically, you have Smite, which I know, Zealous Accusation, which is fantastic, and Holy Lance, which hits a good set. So if you are in, here's the reason why positioning is important. If you're in these 2 positions, you can do a Smite. If you're in those 2 positions, you can do a Zealous Accusation. If you're in these 2 positions, you can do a Holy Lance. So you're never left with not being able to do something when you play. It just all depends on how it, right? So that's the Hellion has the same set of cards. Sorry. Breakthrough is cool. Iron Swan is necessary when you play the video game. This is necessary because you need to be able to hit that back row. So Iron Swan is really necessary. Is it Iron Swan or is it Break? I think it's Iron Swan. So that's the Hellion, the Bounty Hunter, which you have the mark, so you can mark anyone. And if you do that, it looks like you have to make an XP roll, 0-2. If you're in any one of these positions, you can do it. And you can basically buff yourself and cause a target and debuff the enemy that you're doing. The Vestal with all the heals that you can muster. Divine Grace. Judgment is her hit, and Divine Comfort is another heal. The Plague Doctor has Noxious Blast, which is if she's in the back 3, she gets to use this ability. If she's in the back 3, she also does Disorienting Blast buffs, right? Pulls. And the Vapors, which she has to put up. Here it is. Battlefield Medicine. She has a heal. So, like I said, when I read the book fully, the rule book fully, I will execute it with impunity. I want to get the soundboards for that when it happens. So, the Occultist. My love-hate relationship with the Cultist. So, the Cultist does a lot of stuff, a lot of really great things. I would just quote wage you the entire time I'm playing. Mortality clarified in a single strike. So there's that. We've got the Highwayman. Where is my repose ability? Has to have it. Like shot, Dose Advance. There it is. Dose Advance gives repose for 2 turns. I don't know if you And so Duelist Advance does it. Here we go. You see that lovely little symbol? That means if they hit you, you get to hit them back. Brave Robber. You have the Jester. So there's that lovely bow of finale. So if you're in the front two, you get to do some serious damage. On a crit, you roll 16. On otherwise, you hit 10. The Jester is fantastic. The Arbalest, she can heal. She can battlefield medicine. It's not that great. She is more. Her job is more sniper shot. You mark somebody, and then it breaks off. Okay. That's why the Bounty Hunter and the Arbalest are great pairing. And then you have the Abomination. If you transform, and then you can Manacle, you can Bespite. So these are all the different abilities of your party. Looks like the town board. Nope, this is the dungeon. This is the dungeon. So it looks like they have different variants of the dungeons that you can pick. My plan is there are, how much are there? 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. There's 14 of them here. What you're supposed to do is shuffle and pull one, but this is flimsy. This is flimsy cardboard. As you can see, it's not hard, steady stuff. So I actually will roll a dice. I'll shuffle as best as I can and then roll a dice. Unless it says so in the book on which one you're supposed to pick, that's how I would play. But that's not my chain. You got a save box that you pop out and save in. Yay, fun. We've got... I can't even say this without hearing Wayne June. Like, can you? If I can. Okay. You arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupt countryside, leading only, I fear, ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobblestones of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnable transcendent terrors. And you see the ghost pointing, right? So steel yourself and remember, there can be no bravery without madness. The old road would take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we'll find our redemption. Do you not hear Wayne June when I read that? Anyway, this is start here before you play a full game, so you know exactly how to set it up. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through this just to see if the setup is right or if this is a load of crap, because I've played a game where this type of thing is a load of crap. So I'll go through it, and then this is the lovely rule book. So here's another Wayne June 1,000% Wayne June. Here's another one of his. Ruin has come to our family. Actually, instead of doing this, I'm going to take y'all to the intro. I'm going to take off I'll turn off the music that's playing that you heard in the intro, and I'm just going to let this play so you can hear Wayne June's awesomeness. It's probably going to get censored, so people who are here live, opulent and imperial, gazing above the moors. So people who are watching this live, you'll be able to hear it probably as soon as this goes live on YouTube. I'll get censored, and I'll just have to mute that piece. But so whoever wasn't live is just gonna miss it. I'm sorry, but I don't want to read this. I want you to hear Wayne and his beauty. So let me. I gotta go to studio and load the setup. And okay. Let me go here. Make sure I'm gonna turn off music and make sure that it. Yeah, this is good. That off. Let's turn off the music. Bye. So you can just hear the wonderfulness that is. Let's go and. I know, right? All right, I'm gonna shut my face so you can hear this beauty.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity. Until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
It was freaking glorious, wasn't it? So that is, I'm probably gonna get, like, that's probably gonna get a sense of peace of someone saying you can't do that, but I had to. Okay. But that, what you just heard was this. That was what this was. So I didn't want to read it to you because I would never do this justice as Wayne June. So that is what that is. But there is, first things first, we check. There's a table of contents on here. Not seeing an index, so bad. Yeah, there's no index. But there's a table of contents at least, so we need an index too, but at least there's that for us to use. Like I said, I'll try this sheet, and if it is hot trash, I'll read the rule book anyway. But then we got our token that we're gonna pop open. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, turn home, claim your birthright. That up. There's no place to place the tokens in the box also. So I'm assuming someone, somewhere, somehow will make a solution, and I will probably get it. Because I love it. Poison, bleed, buff, debuff, stun. So fantastic. They're just what they're on that side. Targeted, stun, repose, shield, armor, XP, gold, and damage. But I'm going to use dice instead of using anything. Doors for the darkest dungeon, chests that you can find, stress tokens. I don't know what these are. These are new for me. Probably not. I should know what these are. And then more damage tokens. So that's what those are. Okay. He's back in this box. Putting them back where I found them. You say poison. Oh, create your own extra tokens? Ah, okay. Yeah, that's different. What's interesting is that I only had one board. Where's the other? Is that a missing piece? Because I got the Hamlet and I got a board. Where's the other board? No one, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. I might be missing an entire board. You might be missing pieces. Oh yeah, like a board. Anyway, all right. Let's take a look at the. I already know how they line up anyway, but it sucks that if that's. Oh, blight, yeah. Poison, blight, same thing. Does the same. It still sucks. Okay, Ryan, it still sucks. All right. This is what's different than the board game. So there are there are actually dungeon tiles. So when you have an encounter, it happens here on this tile, and you actually have to move to the location with the enemy or within range of the enemy to be able to attack. This is the board game adaptation of Darkest Dungeon. Honestly, I would have been fine with the 1-2 battlefield thing, just like the video game. But I'm sure a lot of people would not be happy with that, so this was added on. On here, what you see, big old fingers don't get in the way. If you look here, this is how much people can occupy the space. A large creature takes up 2. No more can occupy the space than there. What's here is what you see is where your characters start off. So if you're in this position, these 2 positions, you'll start here. If you're in these 2 positions, you'll start down here. There's a treasure chest here and here. And this is where the enemy starts off. So if the enemies are in positions on that board that I showed you where I only have 1 of, but I should have 2, this is where they will start off respectively. They have movement, you have movement, but once you get to them in their space or adjacent to their space, if you have a ranged ability, you then should be able to perform your action. This is the board game. So it looks like there's a lot. The art's beautiful. I mean, whoever did the art for Darkest Dungeon, obviously, the video game obviously did the artwork, and it looks fantastic. It looks just glorious. So I'll just flip them. So it looks really good. I beg you, stay home. Come home, claim your birthright. A lot of pyres, but they're labeled so you can see where they need to pull them. And then this is for when you go to the Darkest Dungeon. All this, or the wheel. The wheel. Oh, that's an eyeball. So, but when the wheel, the warrens in the cove comes, you'll get. So this is for the Darkest. That's this. Once again, I'm missing a board. I am truly missing a board. I don't think I got my. Yeah, I don't think I got my board. I only have the enemy board. I don't have the other. So it's an opponent. So I'll keep opening up and see if it's in someplace else. I'm missing the hero boards. This is the Hamlet upgrades. So as you upgrade your Hamlet, you just replace it with these things on top. So let's do that. So for instance, if the tavern, which is this, is upgraded to 2, put it over it. This should be a dual layer board. But it should be a dual layer board, but you get to put 1 on there to cover it up. So that's what these are. They add new abilities. Where these have some, they add more. So that's the upgrade. Oh no, here it is right here. So cool, so that's the upgrade. So it's not missing. It's here, but the other one wasn't? Weird. Anyway, here it is. This is the hero board, so front, second, third, and back position. So I'll talk about why I'm homebrewing a specific thing about these. Then the round tracker. So here's your torch. And as it ticks down, terrible things happen. In combat, every you have all the rounds until you lose the combat. The hero tokens, that guy. That's your favorite. That's your favorite guy right there. And damage. We've got our characters that we have is here. So we have our Crusader, Hellion, Bounty Hunter, Highwind, Vestal, Jester, Plague Doctor, Grave Robber, Occultist, Garbalist, and Wonderful. I watched your unboxing while sleeving. So what do you watch sleeve? when I sleeve games, I watch Scrubs or I watch somebody else who was streaming at the time too. Like that's my stuff. I'm gonna have to pack that back properly. Because these are way too heavy. It'll crush stuff. Okay, let's take a look at some of these cards that are on the inside. Oh, you're right. It's on a. It's why is it on? They should just. Oh. Let's pop this open. So, exactly what was Mark? Exactly what Mark was saying before. Cards that are in this box are on here. But, I'm old. I got time for that. Put in text. Pop these open. These are the curio cards. So they're different curios. So they have when you get a curio, what you got to deal with. So if it's a suit of armor, you read the words that are on here, which are Wayne June's words. There is a +1 to stress. If you can't deal with it, you'll get a bleed for turn. Or you'll get whatever the item is. I'm not going to show all the curios because people who played the game know about the curios. I'm just kind of showing off. Everyone's seen a bookshelf and why you shouldn't mess with the bookshelf. Then there is okay. So this talks about the dungeon that you're going to go into. It looks like those are boss dungeons. Has to be. Yeah, ritual chamber and stuff. And these are the regular dungeons. So you pull them from the card, flip it over, and that's where you're going to be fighting the ball. That type. Right. So if you're at the ritual chamber 1, then that's how you set it. So these are the rooms. These are the room cards. That's what's on here. Curios and rooms. They could just write curios and rooms. I'm sure it's probably cheaper than printing that on text. What do I know? I don't make board games. What do I know? When I was at Gen Con, the person who ran the table, I think they were learning the game, and the guy was just like, "Oh yeah, sorry, you got to take that damage. Nothing to do about it." We had dice, we had torches, we had things to deal with it, but he didn't know how to play the game, so he was like, "You're screwed." And I died in 3 turns because I was like, "I can't do anything. I'm going into a fight with like 2 health left." So that's not how it's supposed to work. Well, he watches his hands himself on the big screen. No. So, if you're buying things from the market, oh, these are all her cards, huh? Or you have fun diseases to take care of. So these are diseases that you can acquire. Diseases. Remember that thing that has it on there? That really, really, really hurt when you have those. Really hurt. Did I end up ordering paleo? No, it's expensive. I have to play the games I have. I know, Jan, and I plan to. Actually, I think Steve has it. So if he has it, when I go over there next month, Game of Palooza, we'll play it. But I think he has it. No, he said he was going to take me to a board game cafe. That's where he's going to take me, and we'll play it. But if he had it, y'all, maybe you could talk him into buying it, and then we could stream it together. These are quirks, positive and negative quirks that you can get. So that's a negative quirk because it's red and it sucks for its effect. These are all negative quirks. These are positive quirks. Positive quirks give you on guard, which can reduce damage. You could do really nice stuff with it. Negative quirks are not always bad. This is where I'm getting to, where I want to talk to. Take a pause. Negative quirks are not always bad. Probably in the board game they're always bad, but in the video games, some of them actually work. Like, really. So, but positive and negative quirks you can acquire. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's what I want. This is what I am changing. Okay, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I know they're not going to be huge on it. But honestly, I feel like this is the only thing that would weigh the game down for me, where I buy it because it becomes safe. And let me get out the board to show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just going to take out one enemy. And I'll put this here. But this is what I'm going to change. I'm just letting y'all know, so when y'all see me stream it, I don't want anybody to tell me I'm playing this wrong, because I'm telling you now I'm changing it. So what you do is there's 4 on this side and 4 on this side for initiative cards. This is going to determine who's going to play, whose turn it's going to be, right? There's no speed checks. All that stuff's been removed. So you get these. You flip these over. They're all the same side. And you shuffle them up. And then you draw them. And you flip it over. Oh, cool. The heroes go first. You want to know what that means? That means that the heroes go first. This person will go. Then we draw the next card. The heroes go again. This person goes. Then we go again. Oh, it's the enemy. Well, on the enemy board, the first person will go on the enemy side. Then we go again. The second person will go on the enemy side. Okay, now we're on the third person of the hero side, the third person of the enemy side, the fourth person of the enemy side, and then the fourth person of the hero side. I don't know if you find that thrilling. I don't. I find that, okay, so in Darkest Dungeon, the video game, yeah, in Darkest Dungeon, the video game, there is a speed mechanic, and it could be anybody based on your speed. If this person's speed is high enough, they would go. That's just how it's going to be. But I fully understand that in a board game perspective, speed can't be a thing. It's going to be too cumbersome. You have a lot of stuff to deal with already. Fine. Take speed out. Take it out completely. I'm fine with it. I'm not upset about that. I hate this 1, 2, 3, 4 stuff. To me, it should be this. Perfect. But on these cards, on this side, it should be these symbols. And that is what I'm changing. So I'm going to sleeve these, and I'm going to add these symbols to on these cards, so that when I shuffle these up and I flip this over, then this enemy is not going to be this one. It could be here. It could be here. It could be here. You don't know, and it will truly be a randomized system on how you're doing your fighting. It will truly be a randomized system, so that I'm like, okay, this hero's going. I don't get to pick who goes. It tells me where in the battle order that person's going to go. It's like, okay, well, the arbalist goes next to the back. Okay, well, my arbalist will activate. Cool, who's next? Or it's the enemy, but this time it's the enemy shield person who truly screws me over by doing something else that I don't expect. Cool, okay, the enemy, the next thing that's going, they get to go all the way through, and then it's finally my turn here to do my front attack. That is what I'm changing. This is the only thing I'll be changing for this game, because I think this step back rule stuff sucks. I'm just going to be straight up. You could disagree with me. You could tell me, no, you're wrong. Here's why it's so great and beautiful, so you don't have to worry about things. To me, if you add these symbols to this side and shuffle this up, it is more variable, and it makes it so much more beautiful and challenging. You don't know who's going to get to go to play, but if I keep it the way it is, I know exactly who's going to get to play when my turn comes up. I know exactly when my turn comes up. Is this person the first card I pull? Is this hero the second card I pull? Is this hero the third card I pull? And on this game, you are allowed to switch positions. So if I choose to move up one, then my next shuffle, I get to deal with what happens. So I think that's better, to be honest with you. And that's what I'm going to do to change up my initiative. You don't have to. You can follow the rules and enjoy it all you want. Afflictions and virtues. So if you take on too much stress, you either will get an affliction or a virtue, which you will pull from here. Virtues are great. Afflictions are not. So you get to choose which affliction or virtue you're going to have to deal with. Like, I couldn't, when I demoed the game, I couldn't put my finger on what was bothering me about the game. I was like, all right, I see all the themes of the video game in there, but this thing is weird. And I posted in the Darkest Dungeon Discord, and I told them, like, this is weird. They disagreed with me, which was fine. And they were like, and I said, well, I'm going to do this. And when I said that, I was like, okay, this sounds like it solves the problem, but it would add a speed mechanic. Remember, someone else said, why not just put the images of these on the cards and shuffle them? I'm like, that's genius! What did I think of that? So anyway, that's why I was like, yes, that is perfect. That is what I'm going to do. These are your skills and abilities. There are a lot of them for you to build up. To me, if you switch, that's a good question. I think if you switch position, if you already, no, the character wouldn't go twice. If you switch positions, if you already have gone, then the person who was in that position would go. It's like when the battle starts for that round, the position's locked. So basically, no matter where you shift, when you draw that card, you get to go. And then the next round, it frees up and then it locks again. So that's how you take care of it. Is that they can switch positions all they want, but that's the lock position. And if you want to get really jazzy with it, when you print out these, you can print out a second step and then just put them on the characters to say that's the lock position. So whenever they shift, they can shift wherever they want. It's locked on that character. So the abominations abilities, I'm looking for stuff. Yeah, so the grave robbers abilities, which is throw dagger. That's one of the abilities that they get. And here is how you use that ability. So if you're in the back three positions, so you're not at front, use this ability. It hits range 1 to 2, right? You'll roll your dice, and your accuracy is a 9. Roll it, you hit. If that person is blighted, thank you, Pickle. If that person is blighted, you +1 damage. If they're targeted, you +2. If they're both blighted and targeted, guess what? You get +3. So if you hit them, it's a 4. If you crit on them, the 7, I believe. So that's how that works out. The using the abilities is not difficult, but there's a lot of abilities for you to upgrade your characters with. There's some diversity, so it's not going to be a linear path. You get kind of how you want to do it to an extent. And I say that to an extent of how you want to do it. Yeah, to me, like a lock token for initiative and then the initiative images on there would solve all the problems. But I know a lot of people won't agree with me and think that that's too much more. Not well. I just hate that whole thing of going down the line. This looks like it's some more. Yeah, it's more ability. Oh, it's more character ability. That's so it's more abilities. There's the gestures solo. So if you're in the back too, you can use solo. Cool stuff. Finale's I love Finale. Finale does so much. Kate introduced me to the Jester. I was like, I didn't like the Jester at first when I got it because I was like, I don't see the point. I don't want to. I understand buffs are cool, but I don't want to do all that other stuff. And she was like, upgrade it with this. And then I played. I was like, okay, the Jester's awesome. I'm gonna be using the Jester from now on. Alright. What do we got here? The monsters. Okay. The monster. Let's see if I can find a level 1. So for people who play Darkest Dungeon, you know this guy well. He's a level 1 little butt much. So he has 7 health. I hate this guy. He's easy to fight. He's not hard. Very simple to kill. The one I really hate, the one that I cannot stand, makes me so angry. Where is he? Where is he? Because I'm going to show him so I can break stuff down. I want to. He's in here. He's in. Gotta be in here. I'd be surprised. Where is he? There he is. There he is. How many people love this guy? So he's got 3 movement, 10 health. You know, lovely guy. And this ability. That ability right there. So he could go in any of the positions, pretty much. But you're going to roll and see what he's going to do. So if he's in a specific position, he will do 1, otherwise 2. And you will learn to hate him. If you've played the video game, you hate him already. But these are the characters that you're going to fight. So if we look at the board, so how they're going to line up, boom. And I'll just do bones and the bones. So they'll line up like this, right? I know this isn't precisely how they'll line up, but basically what this amounts to is if they're in this position, they're going to perform the first ability. If they're in this position, which is at the back, they'll perform these different. If they are in this position, they'll perform the second ability. That's how you determine who goes where, like when they go. This character, if he's in this position, he'll do 2. If he's in this position, you'll roll a d10, and it'll determine whether he'll do 1 or 2. If he's in this position or this position, he's going to do 1, which raises stress. He's a stress raiser. That's his job. All right, if that makes sense. So perfect for the madman to explain. The madman does mad things from the back of the line. So he will come in. Let's say he's here. So if he's in this position, any of these positions, you roll a d10, and then he will determine what he'll do based on it. Like I said, I haven't fully. And placing positions is they start off in the position that's shown, and if they can't fit there, they go behind it. It's like, but it is what it is. That doesn't bother me. The initiative bothers me. So I'm going to homebrew that. And I know my first playthrough, even though I'm telling you all right now I'm going to homebrew it. I know my first playthrough someone say, you played initiative wrong. I'll even say it on the stream. I'm homebrewing initiative. Someone will say, you're playing initiative wrong. I know it. Alright, so bosses. We've got... Ooh, so the collector's in here too. Oh. Okay. Yeah, the collector's in here. I'm trying to find him so I could show him to you. Here he is. So, whoever fought the collector, there he is. So depending on what position he's in, he's going to do 1 or 2 based off of it. Looks like all positions he's controlled. We've got Necromancer in here. Not the Apprentice, just the Necromancer. So it's more abilities. 7 state. And then these are more enemies to fight. Yeah, these are just more enemies. So big fun. Big. And we've got... This is still the main box. I haven't even gotten to These better be in that other box, because I was like, I paid a lot of money for those. Alright, so, because I just saw card game, no mini box. Okay. Alright, so these, once again, I will not read these because Wayne June does them so better. So better, so much better. Mastery over life and death, chief among my early pursuits. I began in humility, but my ambitions. Who could have divined the prophetic import of something as unremarkable, which they did. It's awesome. So you fight him 1, 2, and then you fight him 3. He has his actions as he does here. The prophet's here as well. So is the collector. We'll run into the fanatic. All right. So how this should read, if anybody else reads this to you, other than Wayne June, and does not pause at that last sentence, tell them watch the game. Listen to Wayne June do it. They said, madness can take many forms, but none so contemptible as man's belief in the mythology of his own making. A world viewed buttressed by dogmatic desperation invariably leads to single-minded fanaticism and a need to do terrible things in the name of righteousness. This man is an animal, rabid, destructive, and incapable of nuanced understanding. He must be put down. And that's how you're supposed to read it. Oh, I love the fanatic. Templar Warlord, Templar Impaler, the Mammoth Cyst, Shuffling Horror, and then the end of the game. So, anyway, I'm already geeking out about this. If anyone doesn't put periods after every word in that last sentence. Ugh. All right, what do we got? Hamlet events. Oh, cool. So after you return, you reveal a Hamlet event. This looks like 2 cards, room. So this is kind of like the breakdown of T, and then quests. You get quests that you go on. Level 1 quests, level 2 quests. So this is thematic of the game. Level 3 quests, and then these are Hamlet events. So when you come back, you deal with the next day. You deal with Hamlet event and draw from here to what happens. And I'm assuming this is how long they last before the next Hamlet. So boss quests, regular quests, and then these break down. So whenever you talk about provisions in the provision die, you roll the provision die, and this is what you get, and this is what you use them for. The torches, you can either light your torch more, or you can ignore negative effects of material using a torch. Which is what the chat was saying before. That's what you. But when I demoed the game, the guy didn't know that, so I went to battles and died on the first battle. So that's how it's set up. Exploration maps. So whenever you see these symbols, it tells you what they are. So these are curios, traps, stressful darkness, hunger, and rubble. Traps work a little bit different in this game than the other, because in the other, if you have the right character, you can keep fine. Like glancing ahead. Otherwise, you just work through what they have. It says, if you see a trap, if you consume a tool to ignore the trap. Stressful darkness, there's hunger, so you need to eat, of course, and then rubble, as you know, you have a shovel. So those are pretty straightforward, and then you talk about what the different are. That's pretty straightforward. That matches with the game, so that works. What we've got dice. So these are the curio dice. I believe everybody gets 3, and so you roll them. And this goes into a pool. When it goes into the pool, you get to use them when you go into the dungeon. These are wild, torch, this shovel, and then whenever you're walking through the halls, you get to roll this lovely die where you find a curio, a trap, something terrible happening to you based on what happens. This is your D10 to determine what the enemy is going to do. They give you 4, 4 player. This should be enough. I think it's 3, 1, 3. Oh, it's 4 then. It's 4. You get 4 dice, not 3. So you roll 4 dice and you take them. So you get a lot of stuff. You get a lot of stuff. 2 per player, I believe, for these. So you roll 2 of those. And then this is if you're at death's door. That bad boy. If you roll skull. You know the rest. We've all been there. So that's what that. Drop my die. Okay. So that's how that shakes up. Okay. That was just the base box. Just throw the stuff in here. Like I said, I'm going to order it later. Because I don't want the stuff pressing down on it. Box is very, very heavy. Okay. Oh, let's take a look at minis. That's what y'all want to see. I want to see some minis. Okay. Alright, so zoom in. So let's see, it's tabletop adaptation, so it goes through the same there. See the back of the box. Front, it's a strong box. Yep, these are the minis. 1 of 2. I do this. I just prefer them in plastic. Plastic, so I could. Anyway, okay. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Ooh, oh. Actually, the minis look amazing. I ain't mad at them. Yeah. Minis look great. Oh, they look really good. They look incredible. So this is the abomination mini. This is the abomination mini. It's pretty decent. I ain't mad at it. It looks good. It's got some nice detail. I don't know what that is, but it's got some nice detail to it. So fun. The thing that really impresses me. This guy. The bases are not stellar, but who cares, right? Who cares about the bases? I don't. So the bases aren't that stellar, but the minis themselves are super. They look really, really great. That it comes off the board as he smashes it down. You see like the skull face. This will be fun to paint. Indeed. Snake. I don't know what happened here. Looks like it's breaking out of something. I'll just believe that it is. I can't remember. I can't remember fighting it, so. But it's got some decent weight on it. Looks good. It looks really nice. I don't know if this is mold problem or if it broke out of something. I can't remember fighting it, so that's that. This has some spoiler stuff on it, so I don't want to get too deep. But the fanatic is here. The fanatic is here. The minis look amazing. I'm impressed. Let's go find the other characters. I'm highly impressed. Okay, Mythic. All right, you got me with the minis. They look really good. Holy. Wow. Okay. The characters are at the bottom. These out. that off. Then we've got. You want to know for size, right? So this is bounty hunter. Why is this guy here? There's a mini of him. He's snickering and laughing. He's showing you stuff. There's a torch. Laughing torch. There is a doctor. All her beautiful glory. Good pose. Very good pose for these characters. All these minis are beautiful. The occultist. Doesn't do it. The occultist. My favorite, the arbalist. Satyr with his zealous accusation. The abomination in human form. Grave robber. Everybody's favorite. Hi, woman. Jester. And the Vestal. And you've got this jerk. There he is. There he is, doing his accusations at us. Oh, that's them. There's a lot of minis in here. We've got. Look at that. Look, the attack that it's. That's going to be a mini that causes a problem at the table. That's what that's going to do. Because it takes up so much space. We have the cultist. They'll be interesting to paint. I'll probably prime all of them red, which they were all supposed to come red anyway. I think something happened. They could mark their update. One of their "this is what we're doing, suck it up" updates. But I plan to prime them all red, and probably do some nice, do a nice little panel. So they look really, really good. Those are those minis. So these are the base game minis. If you get the game, that will be your yeah. You need minis to play this game. Get some tokens. Okay. Let's open this, then we'll open Crimson Court. All the day. Drink for later. Yeah. How are y'all doing? Any questions or anything like that? My table's a mess too much. Well, the Crimson Court. So the story of the Crimson Court, for people who don't know, a lady who's on the box, and I could zoom in so you can see, came to the court one day when the court was full of debauchery. Everyone being a jerk, but she came to the court one day and she was noticed by your predecessor, right? The owner of the whole hamlet, the land, the one who sent for you. He was so taken aback by her, he planned to murder her, but she revealed her form, which was not a lady but some creature. Moonlight revealed her true form when they were dancing in a murder. Long story. when you play through the game, you'll be like, oh yeah. But he was gonna murder her. She revealed her true form and attacked him. He still was able to beat her, And what he did instead of kill her and finish her off, is strung her up and drained her blood and put her blood in wine bottles to give to her guest, to give to his guests at the party. They drank it all. They then all went mad, and so began Crimson Court. So, and your job is to go through and deal with it. So this is Crimson Court. I actually wish this was fine. This was the first expansion, I believe, of the board game, but the Wells of the Warren both existed in the base game of the video game, which were add-ons to this board game shipping. But it's a quick play of what's on there, what to expect in here. But there's the Countess that you have to fight, her alternate form, the Viscount, and there should be the Baron. Then there's the Baron. There's 3 bosses to fight here in Crimson Court. This is the Crimson Court boards. You can incorporate if you want. The art looks exactly like the same. These are the bosses. Oh, you're going to encounter. So for anybody who's played the game, you encounter this jerk very early on. And he has this ability where he dives underwater and you can't find him. And then he finds and it hurts. So there's the Countess, and the Garden Guardian that's on there that you can fight, but I hate tokens. We got quests for the Crimson Court. I'm not going to dive too deep into these because I'll show you some minis, but there's quests for the Crimson Court. There's the boss cards and the enemy cards for the Crimson Court. And basically anyone who gets stung by any of these mosquito-like creatures gets the Crimson Curse. And if you get the Crimson Curse, the Thirst does it? I can't remember. But if you get the Crimson Curse, you then have to deal with. You have to satiate yourself with the blood from this woman, which you find in the Crimson Court or throughout the game in different locations. If you don't drink the blood, you go crazy and you start attacking people. So you need to drink blood. This is more dungeon rooms and curios that you can find and deal with. And these are that's busted. And then lots of minis. Lots and lots of. Okay, they're taped. Yeah. What? Why is this? Why is this a thing? They taped it, but it's like they busted up the plastic. So I'll just fold it this way. This is the Countess. This is the Countess hiding behind her little mask. Gentle. And then as you keep fighting her, she turns into this thing. Big old mosquito that comes for you. So they're all mosquitoes, and there's like eggs that float about that you have to deal with. This guy. Yeah, that's the Baron. This seems to be a board problem. This is the reason why I said you don't really need minis for the game, but no, they're gonna sell it. This is the jerk that I hate, that he dives underwater. Can't hit him. So there's a lot, and as you can see, this thing, what the hell? These are different parts of the port. Goes there. There. That and block. Alright, let's get to our finale. This is the Musketeer. For people who backed it on Kickstarter, they got the Musketeer for free. So for those who didn't, you'll have to buy it as an aftermarket item, and somebody will probably sell it to you for $10 billion. The aftermarket. Ridiculous. Alright, let's see. So here is the Musketeer. You get her item here, so that's her. She, how do you, where does this character fit in the IP? She is part of the, I almost said Color of Madness, but it's not Color of Madness. She's part of the circus, that fight circus that comes. She's a new character in the IP. I forgot what it's called. That's. But she comes with that. She has her cards with her. You can see that are like everybody else, and she has these lovely, lovely ability cards as well as her main card. Gives her 19 health. Got some. Oh, 14 health. Sorry, but she's a ranged attacker, so if you need more range in your party, she's your girl. She will be important to the mind games. Alright, I think I unboxed. That was a fun unboxing. I will call that. So that was a fun unboxing to go through Darkest Dungeon. Like I always say, I promised when those games came in, I would pick them up from the door, set the stream, do an unboxing right away, which I've done with every single one. So that is fantastic. We have gotten through a great deal of this. I will get to this game. I will get to it. I plan to play it because I'm a huge fan of the IP. However, I have another game Wednesday. I'm going to be playing Frostpunk, so that's one of my anticipated. Okay, so that is Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, it's a really cool game. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna get into it and play it. So what's coming up on the channel tomorrow? Marvel United, then another game. I don't know what. I'm still thinking about it, but because I haven't painted those for, so those will probably be on the weekend again. Like I'll do a Saturday one. But I'm playing Frostpunk on Wednesday, so it'll probably be a light game on Tuesday that I play. And then Thursday's Thanksgiving. Friday is probably going to be Arkham Horror, but I still need to talk to Kate and Cynthia about it. And then Saturday, I'll probably do a Sunday Arkham Horror. And then we'll get back to the work week and we'll see. But this will enter the queue. I need to get through Frostpunk first before I even look at this rulebook. And then once I do that, I will schedule a stream for this playthrough because I am excited for it. It will be played before the year's out. That I can do. So we'll see how it goes. But all right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Thank you to my patrons, my subscribers, and if you're trying to hang out to watch me unbox, show some stuff, thank you as well, and I appreciate it. Thanks so much, everybody. I will see you all later. Bye.